Welcome back, everyone. So we've got 2 maps left, although this one might take a bit of doing. Last map certainly did. Damn, the double VIP. Alright. You still have 380,000 points, oh my. Enjoy your diamond. Yeah, we should be finishing tonight. We'll see how long this map takes. I'm hoping not long, but like the last map was like 3 hours of attempts and stuff, so. And this one is definitely harder than it. Oh boy, a surge on Riz. Sweet. And a laundry bowl. Ah, yes. All very important items. Failed Blizzard Tome? Implying that all Blizzard Tomes aren't failed tomes. So this staircase is already like a huge pain in the ass to deal with when you have 12 move cavalry Chris. So this is gonna take some doing. Yeah, this Marth is gonna need to eat quite a few stat basters before we fight Medeus proper. Give you an engaged ice tome line that freezes on hit or something. Good work. You're here for once again. Welcome, Eric. So I guess we... So we gotta deal with all this other stuff coming out. So we'll probably need a few turns before we can properly push here. I'm gonna turn on animations manually, because we'll just have it for the first attempt. And then leave it saved off. who's holding... Where's that soul? So we need to repair that again. Nice crit. I think it really says something that we can't kill these with a crit here, too. They're all aggroed. Damn it, Marth. Can you do anything right? Wow, even Ryan doesn't. It's really annoying. Guess we'll get this one with catch rat, maybe? No, even catch rat doesn't hit her enough. That works. Well, at least the fire dragons are worth more experience from Marth. It's a good level, too. Let's see if we actually get to keep it. Is that 26 magic gas? How many spirit dust did I give her? Like 5? Hey Kirby, thanks for the raid. I didn't even realize you were gone right now. Didn't see the notification. Attaboy Marth, yes. Yes, White Tiger Mask. It's the best rip in the game. You had to have it. You didn't expect it to be this kind of game? What were you expecting it to be like then? Yeah, not thinking. We need the power and the sustain if we're gonna be stuck not using cavalry. Let's go. Let's clear these stupid mage dragons out. Yeah, Nos still heals 1-to-1 in New Mystery. I guess it's the last game that does it. You're not sure, but this is pretty cool. Glad to hear you think so. Problem here is I don't know if we have enough firepower. My crit rate against Etzel. You never really played anything like that, so really. Yeah, win against Gharnef. Except when I do. Yeah, we don't have enough damage here. Thanks for the gremlin. Actually, wait. Chris can come around the side here, although this does leave us exposed to lots of stuff. We can do that. We're gonna have to make sure we heal him to full though, because he'll be in range of the meteor. Alright, save Brave Axe uses. Good dodge. Although we'd be fortifying anyway, so I guess it's not really necessary. no crit. Well, I guess we're technically feeding Martha Bunch here, right? Failing to kill. It is slowing us down by a lot. Because reinforcements will start spawning on turn 7. We need to make serious progress before then. Nice crit. Still need to fit the crit some more here. This map definitely has way too many siege tomes.
More!
Thanks for the follow, Mean NCO. Ow. It's always surprising to me when the enemy decides not to fortify. Because, like, they have 4 fortifies, but apparently 34 and 33 out of 60 is not enough damage to activate. Must be internal power struggles. Ah, yes. Gharnef failing to keep his dudes in line. Sounds about right. Funny mark, 11 sword value. Nice. More stats you gain, the fewer stat boosters we need to buy. No, I don't think Militia actually cares that much about these meteors. She has 29 res, so she takes 11 whole damage. I guess it could mess up Nos tanking some of the stronger stuff here, but... Or rather, I guess the Fire Dragons, physical damage dealers, but... She does not really need to be beholden to staying out of meteor range compared to the others. Turn 4. Alright. We're making rapid progress overall. But the real test is against the quad siege tomes plus the glowers with Gharnef behind them. That's discounting all those dragons around him, too. Good Marth levels exist. I know, right? That is the true power of the Hero King. Wait, what? Burn range with 2 of these. Why didn't we pull them? Unless it has to be all 3, but that seems... dubious. Well, that's annoying. think we'll have to use it again here so that we can kill this guy and then go here to lure these out, because we can't really afford to be in range of 2. Lower plus anything will basically kill anyone. And the Mage Dragon prevents us from doing boss tanking. Damn, these guys rolled with too high defense too for the longbow to work. Unless she crits. It's a thing that could happen. Nice. So now if we again her, we can get her into a safe place. Or rather, to counter this guy, and these guys should pull now. I guess I could have used a rescue as well, but that would have been a little messier to actually make work. Alright, our team's just like all crammed into this tiny bit on the staircase. We need to get through here, start pulling these guys. Because we need to get over here and kill these siege chums before we get pincered. The only thing is Zane's about to transform, so that's gonna make things more annoying here. Okay, Bella. Yeah, we're fighting dragons. Nice. Also nice. It's perfect. This is the last turn before stuff starts spawning in, too. We're probably at least a few turns away from taking down all this stuff up here. You have to be very careful about... Well, I guess it's more we have to be lucky about critting Gharnef, because he has so much health. Or I guess we could use one more again. We get 3 actions with Militia, and S can finish him off. But we're definitely going to lose a lot of health and a lot of healing turns to do that if we do, so... And we need to make sure we take care of the Glowers. Because a Siege Tome and a Glower will just kill someone, never mind 2 Siege Tomes and a Glower. Yeah, this is the second to last map. Nice whiff. Noting that these are the weak sea ships here, the swarms. Gharnef will go first and body block these. The question is, I guess, where we want to position militia. Damn, no crit. That definitely messes things up, because I don't have anyone else that can reach there. Unless... I could use another again charge, I guess. We really shouldn't need more than 2 for the next map, but I think I want to try to save 3. But it would be great if we could just get the crit on Gharnef. I meant that to be again. Well, I guess we can make Merrick do it then. Alright, well, here we go. We're fine not critting the first hit here, because they just fortify it anyway, but on player phase here, we want to crit so that it kills them. That's no crit. I guess we have one more chance of the crit, and then we have to pass off the tome to Est. Or I guess we use it again, but either way. There it is, nice. Hello, Wicked Ryoka. The exist is kinda cool. This game is pretty good at it. Alright, Fulshin get. How much is this gonna actually heal if we physic? I guess that's enough. Well, be a little worse because Katarina has worse. Well, I guess we could make her do the again staff use. So yeah, let's do that. Wait a second. I'm like, I need to clear these meteors, but you know what I could just do is I could move Marth forward and then again him. Can I save that Mercurius durability? Yeah, we just again Marth and he's done. Okay, well, we burned a bajillion resources for that, but we actually first tried it. Nice and clean indeed. I guess that's what the fruits of my going through pains in the previous map to make sure I had enough again and rescue saved up. Kicking Katarina off the team for Minerva. And we might actually be benching Ryan here, because he's probably not going to do much, unfortunately. Because even Chris isn't really likely to do much. We're gonna pretty much end up... We're gonna put him in a staff class, and then he's gonna have to start the rescue chain. Lena's in front, so that makes her easier to kill, too. Because unfortunately, because we couldn't save Julian, physically impossible, Lena has to die. Versus giving supports and receiving them, that's true. It could be a dark mage or a sorcerer for final map here. We also used a lot less NOS than I assumed we would. Safety measure, I suppose. So we will have to actually advance here. Which means we might need to do some combat. Actually, not might, we will have to do some combat. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to compute whether it's more feasible to do the Thoron strats or the Lady Blade strats. Amazing how there are 4 units to exist for all of 1 turn. I know, right? That was definitely a greater risk if we use her, because Medeus has a bajillion crit from his 40 skill. I guess the chain is gonna start with either Cyrus or Merrick. Should probably be Cyrus. Who has my other rescue? I can't believe 5 points survived to the end of the game here, too. What happened to my other... Is it just in the convoy? Okay, I guess it is. Alright. Surely Lena will survive. She'll survive in our hearts. Merrick shouldn't have the again, because we don't want him to be doing it. Well, that's the holdup for now. I'm actually not sure who would end up using the other one. Because Zane certainly can't unless he duplicates Setzel or Merrick or something. Which I might end up doing, I guess. So let's give... Because there's probably not any reason to have Yeah, there's probably not any reason for him to duplicate, like, Chris or anything. So yeah, we need this left side to be open so that we can just, or I guess the middle needs to be open so that Chris can run straight up, rescue Cyrus, who starts the chain on here. We probably have to run Catra as a sorcerer or a magic class too. In order to get her in on the chain, she needs to be trading for the rescue. So that'll be Cyrus. Cyrus to talk, rescue Merrick. Nina can rescue, however, she'll need to not be in the way. So I guess maybe... maybe rescue Catria or Esta first? Well, I guess it'll have to be... I guess we'll have to also figure out whether we're doing Thoron or Lady Blade, because that changes things a lot. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if we even have the money for Thoron, if I'm being honest. This is the last game in my challenge? No. We have Awakening after this, which is gonna have a pretty scuffed early game too. How much is this even gonna run us? plus 10 Thor is 60,000. It seems not great, whereas I guess the Lady Blade plus 10 is also 42,000, which is still like 20,000 less. What's the plan? Get into Warrior Robin? No, I'm probably gonna still run Sorceress Rats. But I will be going for a warrior, namely Morgan. It's just gonna be dicier without Gale Force to give me more safety. Are we gonna have enough money for all this? So we don't need the energy drops, because we can Strength Tonic, Marth, and Pella. I think we still have a Speed Tonic too, so that Marth can avoid getting doubled. So this should make it so that we largely... largely don't need to buy more stat basers. Because otherwise, if we do the Thorn thing, Etz is gonna need a few more Spirit Dusts, which we could buy, but it's also expensive. And Thorn is already 20,000 more expensive than the Lady Blade setup. So Marth with the Strength Bond. I guess we should just use them now. So he has 66 attack. Which will do 24 damage. So one crit puts him at 17 left. And Fully Forged Lady Blade would have... let's see, we gotta use these first. So 49 attack. Which is 7 damage. And we get the guaranteed crit from White Wings. I don't think there'd be any scenario where Thoron ends up being that much better. I guess it would allow Marth to attack twice and then you get the crit instead, I guess. Because 30 magic fully forged Thoron. Is 54 against 32 res. Actually, that'd be weaker than the Falchion. Although the Falchion would still do enough with 2 regular hits and then the Thoron finishes. You did an off-screen Haru run to win your first Euro finale. Congratulations. Haru is, in fact, quite good at doing that. Yeah, I think we're gonna commit to doing the Lady Sword strats. Because it's not only significantly cheaper, but... a little bit less... well, I say less of a headache, but... I guess it does... It does make it so that Marth just attacks twice instead of us needing to rig a crit on him, which is going to be probably the most annoying part of this. As far as the Lady Blade stuff goes. Alright, so Marth has 62 bulk. Which means we don't have to buy more stat basers for him to survive here. Imagine if final bosses could move turn 1. I mean, I don't think Medeus would come for us. It wouldn't really change this. Unless you mean... the final map gives the first turn to the enemy side. That would complicate things for sure. So, you know what I'm gonna do here? I'm gonna flip these around, because I'm gonna have Militia Hammer and the Rescue Cyrus has. And then that gives us a full 5 charges for the group up here. Sadly, unlike his friend, Marth is not replicable. I mean... I think we could, but without the bonding shield, Zane's just gonna be a shittier Marth who just dies. Or replaceable. True, I guess. Although I guess because of his power in this chapter, you'd probably want to train him anyway. So even if he was undeployable in other maps, you probably wouldn't want to do it anyway. Alright, so let's start selling stuff. Because we need to fund this ridiculous Mega Blade. I guess let's make sure that everyone has enough stuff to cover whatever might arise on the first turn. So I guess in the end we really did end up not caring about the lances at all. I'm gonna hold one Levin sword in case something goes wrong, and one Worm Slayer. Alright, Sword Slayer is useless. Rapiers are useless. We don't need multiple Lady Swords. Selling off the Brave Lance feels bad, man. You see we're planning forges? Yep. Or rather, forge singular. I guess if we can scrounge up some extra money too. No wait, the Lady Blade doesn't need crit forge to it because it's an auto crit. And also we don't need hit, so yeah, we're good there. Your hands would die if a speedrun did this selling spree. I mean, I think there might be other problems for you if you were doing a Lunatic reverse speedrun. Man, shame we can't sell the auras. Define stones are worth a lot. Alright, I think we can already afford it, so... We didn't even get into needing to pawn up vulneraries. Gotta keep the 5 points around for the memes. Yeah, I mean, it survived this long. And it doesn't sell for much, so... There we go. Oh yeah, I guess if anyone wants to claim the name on the forge that's gonna be used a single time to kill Medeus. Lunatic reverse speedrun would be, would definitely be a task I don't think many people would want to tackle. Girl. Nice. You were on the fence about taking Claris. Oops. There we go. Oops. How do I cancel out of this? There we go. Okay. He had just enough points. Well, I will truly be immortalized, so...
My bullets seek your soul.
also for committing to... I guess we have an angelic robe that we just have done nothing with. Why use these goddess icons? Palace sure is the girl. She is indeed. She is the girl. As long as there's a hole of some sort in their formation, we can slip Chris through. The problem will be manipulating them to actually let us do that. You know what I'm gonna do? So we have all these arm scrolls we also didn't use. Really hitting home how many vulneraries we ended up with. Flying goddess icons of all things. This will decrease the chances of an attempt where Marth crits and Pala getting gibbed for it. Why is Chris a sorcerer? Because we're doing a 2-turn strat. Because I have in the past fought these dragons, and it just causes a stalemate where you can't kill anything fast enough to get close to Medeus. Yeah, look at all these stat boosters you can buy. Buys goddess icons. I mean, when you got a low luck White Wing here, you just gotta do it. say this real quick, but we gotta basically map this out action by action. Imagine if Shadows of Valentia had Pally could eat those gods icons with her 4 base luck. Yeah, but in Valentia, you just need to drink some water and you get more luck. Alright, so... I guess with this setup too, we technically don't need any again uses on the attackers, so we could use it to get more rescue value out of this. So Sire sucks Nina. It rescues... Man. It'd be nice if he didn't need to do this corner, but... There's no way he's reaching otherwise. Unless... If we can get this guy to move straight out of the way... never mind. Cyrus is still short by 1. How do you know who's good when factoring in reclass? Does it even matter? It's gonna come down to what their base stats are. Because then you can leverage the base stats of a class, and if you combine them, like for instance, Wolf and Sedgar get really stupid with in general because they have okay personal bases when in any class other than Horseman, because Horseman has complete garbage for bases. But, yeah, I mean, that's the problem with Arcanea. Because you say when you play Chow Dragon, units seem to suck when reclass unless they are top tier units anyway, but that's just the problem in general. Arcanea just has, like, 50 really crappy units, and then 15 usable / top tier ones. Because you're kind of stuck with likely arena grinding if you want to use any of the other, like, really crappy units. Because those units are replacements balanced around MP1 system, where the stat caps were 20. And the enemy quality was low. It's that Kaga philosophy. I mean, in the case of DSFE and New Mystery, it's more that IS never bothered to do anything to help the shitty units. Because in FE1, really, those units are technically still usable. Like, maybe not as good, but... Because the statting is tighter and lower, you can use Caesar or Rad without having to jump through a million hoops. But the higher difficulties of the DS remakes kind of make those units mostly useless. I guess I should probably use the again with Chris early so that we can start passing around the rescues. So what we could do, rescue who's actually free to do whatever? Or maybe we... well... yeah, the problem is gonna make it so that we can trade the rescues around without breaking ourselves. At least in Rev you can grind all the scrubs. I mean, you can technically do it here too, but how long do you want to spend in the arena is the question. FP12 does have arena. It does. It's got, like, all the cities that have arenas, they do have arenas. So, like, Altea, Kadane. I forget where else has them, but Altea and Kadane have them for sure. But yeah, also you have the drill grounds, which just costs you an arm and a leg. So that's why you would probably want to use the arena for the scrubs, but the arenas are on a fairly few amount of maps, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, Chapter 21 I'm pretty sure has one too. Spend money for guaranteed stats? I mean, isn't that what stat boosters are for? Yeah, Chapter 21 also has an arena for last minute unit grinding if you want, I guess. Aside from drill ground stuff. But drill grounds gets expensive fast, so you probably need to rig that so you get your money's worth out of it. You haven't tried it yourself, but apparently the Manakins can meme on the drill grounds. Yeah, I think it's because of the Divine Stone giving so many stats and the game not, like, factoring in the Divine Stones. Something like that. Alright, so I guess what we do... Cyrus, talk, rescue Merrick. Nina trades for the rescue. Grabs either Catcher or S, it doesn't really matter who. And then we use again on Chris, so he runs up here. And takes the other rescue, so he has both. And rescues Katria. So then we can do S takes both rescues. So we rescue Pala. Or no, wait. Cyrus will rescue Pala. And then S can rescue Merrick. Who then rescues... talks here and rescues... Katria. And then we don't care about Elise, we just move her over. Katria takes the rescue, rescues Minerva, who talks to Maria. And then, Now the question is, who is killing Lena? I guess we could again ask and have her Thor on Lena. That seems so mean, but... what else are we gonna do? Because it's not like we have Julian. So I guess Est is about to commit war crimes. Oh, actually, no, we need to rescue Marth too, so Elise will have to take one of the rescues to do that. Or actually, either Elise or Maria, it doesn't really matter who. One of these two needs to rescue Marthin. Alright, so we have a plan. Now we just need to get these guys to move in a way that doesn't block Chris from initiating this whole thing. I think we saved, but just to be sure, we're gonna do it again. Have to recruit her and kill the bishops in order to kill him. We can attack him, but if any of the bishops are still alive when Medeus dies, he eats them and gets 25% of his health back for each bishop that dies. So if you don't kill the bishops, you're essentially giving Medeus 200 hit points. We saved 3 times just to be safe. Of course. Alright, so we're gonna have to figure this movement out. Oh yeah, the Binding Shield kills Earth Dragons, but only at the start of player phase, so the ones that spawn in with 1,000,000 stats from here to ambush spawn you will still do so. But it has very shiny stats. Yes. Really, he just wants to show off how pretty he is to the world. And we're just being mean to him. He gets many of the final bosses in the series, dude. They're almost always in unique classes. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone that's not in a unique class. He clearly has a luck issue, true. Who has... Wait, no, it was Cyrus. I was wanting to do Cyrus. I'm like... looking for the again staff, but it's the rescue that I'm repairing. Now, annoyingly, everyone's gonna be kind of hard to identify just because they're all sages. Alright, so if we bunch everyone up over here, hopefully that pulls everyone to the right. Because we need a pull either down the center or around here to get Cyrus in. Actually... it definitely has to be on the left or the center. Because on the right we can't actually get Cyrus to Nina. And if I had a third rescue, it'd be an easy thing just to give Minerva the third rescue so that no matter which hole they leave, I could just rescue Minerva or Cyrus, but unfortunately that's not a thing. Yeah, Leon is the basically special summoner. Oh, they're blocking. Wait, why are they... They left the right side open? I mean, we could technically work with that. I just swap it over to Minerva instead here. We might be able to make this work. Because I could use the dance, and I think we still have enough actions. Alright, so we do... Chalk... Rescue... Ella... And we trade. And rescue. The game keeps trying to lock onto my characters as I scroll over them. So we rescue Merrick. Like, when you see my cursor stutter for a second there, it's because the game's like, ah, you want to rescue Pala again. Or Chris. It's like, yeah, obviously. Oh wait, crap. No, damn it, I gave the rescues instead of taking them. Oh, okay, we have to reset. I accidentally did it in the reverse. But Alright, we'll transfer to Minerva here instead of Cyrus. On the assumption that they're just gonna do that again. We'll probably have to repeat this a few times because we're likely to miss the crit with Marth. Actually, what is Marth's crit rate too? Yeah, it's gonna be like 27. No, I think it's only 22 after Chris's boost. Because I think you only get 5. How many final bosses use standard weapon types? Yeah, Julius, Veld, Ashnar, Takumi, Nemesis. Yeah, Ashura definitely cheats. Hers is like more of a monster type attack. American football started up in your good old Vikings and decided to raise your blood pressure tonight. Rip blood pressure. Oh, they didn't block us on either side this time. Well, that's interesting, but we already set up for Minerva, so Minerva's who we are summoning. Alright, rescue. Trade. Eric rescue. So this time, making sure we take from Maria. And we're rescuing Est. Then, actually, this kind of messes things up, or does it? No, I don't think it does. So we rescue Catra. I guess we should have rescued Catcher with Maria to make this smoother, but this still works. So we can do talk to Elise. I guess the main issue here is that we're wasting actions. Like how Lena doubles Elise, does like a whole bunch more damage. So we gotta still rescue Cyrus and Marth. We have multiple again uses. I guess we really didn't need the extra rescue uses, so we don't need to hammer in it if we have to redo this. Alright, rescue Marth. So we need to go there. I'm sorry, Lena. I'm just prepping for the awakening with the rescue spam, yes. Actually, I guess I could just set up for a potential recovery too if we need to have Marth try again. So there's definitely more we can do to have not waste action economy and have Marth get a couple chances at critting. Well, you know, we technically do have a chance if Marth dodges. No, wait, never mind, we don't have more again, so yeah, Marth bricked us there. But that's just how it's gonna be. If Marth doesn't crit, then we have to try again. So we technically don't have to do this, I guess, but... Oh boy. Why is this movement so different every time? Because now we've got the side with Cyrus open. He's choosing the only way, pretty much. Because you're pretty much gonna have to rig in some way. I guess there's technically a way if you manage to have enough money where you just say screw it to Marth, I guess, and you do all white wings and do like double Lady Blade and the Thoron. I'm not sure if that's actually quite enough damage though. But yeah, basically this map is made assuming you're gonna cheese it. Because we have an opening, but now Cyrus has to do it over Minerva. I'm gonna rescue Marth. to get Minerva. I don't think Maria's actually gonna be able to heal Marth enough. If he screws this up. So basically only Nina and Elise you can use. Actually, is that true? I don't know if I have any recovers left. It's B rank. Yeah, literally Maria is the only one who can't do it. Marth, no! How could you? You fool. Because Maria can heal, but like, it's for 11. Alright, well... Since you screwed it up, Marth, now you have to dodge a 73. And then crit. Good luck. Nope. Rip Marth. He tried, not really. No, Marth, I will not forgive you. Exactly. Okay. I wonder if... I might not have moved Marth over enough last time. Because they just left this wide open now. There's Minerva. There's Minerva. When all of your units are staff units, and then losing track of all of them. You know, considering how this goes, I should probably do Catch Rita first. So is Katra. Because we want S to attack anyway. After freeing this up. And so trade, get Merrick. And then we rescue Cyrus. Summon on me, Stride isn't so bad, true. Not that I asked, but the date he got ghosted you after the first meetup. Ah. Unfortunate. Sorry to hear that. All aboard the rescue chain, true. Leave the crit for Marth. Yeah, it would be nice, huh? There it is! Let's go. Oh wait, we need one more hit after too, so we definitely need the recover on Marth too. I guess I mathed that incorrectly. That's fine though. This is the done deal, because Marth is able to finish this off now. We just need to again him and he's at full health. That's why Martha's the goat. Because he's the only one who can do anything to Sirius and Medeus after everyone else carried him on their backs for the rest of the run. Now that's strategy. Thanks for the GGs.
My bullets seek your soul.
The last minute level ups. Sure, why not?
Time to tip the scales!
Before he's bitter, he doesn't need help to solve his final boss. It's true. Alright, we did it! We only had to murder Lena. Alright. You wonder why Lena drops an Hellfire when killed? I think all the bishops drop their their weapons when they die, so I think it's just convention there. No, you kill the possessed princess, have an item jingle. True. Surely the continent is saved from conflict now. Yeah. It's totally fine. Nothing bad ever happened for, like, the next 1,000 years. I like how a lot of these turns actually look pretty normal. Because we basically had all these checkpoints in Prologue, with Prologue maps being fairly short, so... Not seen here, the hours of rigging done in the Prologue. I guess aside from the last leg of like 5 chapters, the prologue was definitely the most annoying and difficult part when we had to do stuff that wasn't rigging. Because Chris wasn't quite going at that point, even with several near perfect levels coming out of first couple chapters. So it was very easy to get overrun in those prologue chapters. And then a few chapters out of that, it was sort of the case as well. I mean, we had a Merc Chris who was ridiculously strong, so... That was where things were starting to ramp up, and then when Chris promoted, we were generally okay for stats. The big problem after that was movement. Because a lot of maps are designed around cavalry, so the Hero 8 move was often not good enough. And then that kind of flipped on its head and was okay after we got boots. Because then Chris, as a hero, was basically a cav. And I guess even as a berserker with the boots, he was just a shitty horseman. Because hand axes are definitely quite a bit weaker than a silver bow. Thanks for the GG. We definitely had to use less resources in the mid-game than I thought we would. Like, for instance, Chapter 19. I thought we were gonna need it again to get Rochea. And I thought we were gonna need it again in order to get Starlight. But we managed to not need it for both of those. Although Chapter 19 required some really stupid jank crap to do it. And it was really close to not being possible without using again, so there was that. Yeah, 5 points survived. It was useful all game. Basically one of the best investments I've made in, as far as Fire Emblem Forges for. Because they gave us those one-shots on the Dracos for a while. And then eventually it hit a point where, because it was 1 might stronger than a silver bow, Katria could barely one-round some of the stuff that where Silver might had their bulk had them elude getting killed by a vanilla Silver bow. And it allowed us to not super burn through Parthia that way. Although, I guess we could have been more aggressive with Parthia, since we only used 9 uses of it, but however, I think it was good that Katria didn't need Parthia at any point, because there were a number of times where George could kill wyverns, but only because he could use Parthia and he could barely one-shot them. So it was better to leave it in his hands so that Katria and George could each kill a wyvern on a single-player phase. GG easy. Yeah, sure, easy, obviously. See you in Shadows of Lentia, Cyrus. Yes, he has to go back to marry Tatiana. I guess another thing that surprised me is that I never went back to Knight for Chris, or more specifically General. Because I thought for sure once we promoted, there was going to be somewhere where I'd want to flip into General and take advantage of the 30 defense, but we just never did. So all those lances just ended up being pointless aside from selling them for cash. Actually, I guess there was the single Kadane chapter where Minerva was running as a general with lances. Like, she never got high enough to use any of the good lances, so I don't know. Silver lances, brave lance, still basically worthless. Same with Gradavu. Thanks, I appreciate it. I guess I expected to have Hala flipping into bows more often, and that basically never happened. Katri was just so dominant that, as a sniper, that Hala didn't really need to cover it at all. So she could keep trying to get her Swordmaster stats and failing spectacularly until the last leg. Bantu with a single battle. Yeah, I don't even remember what Bantu did to get a single battle there. I guess... No, wait, no, I remember. He poked a sniper so that either... I think it was Pala could get the kill on him. So Bantu was able to do exactly one thing before he got benched. Actually, another surprising thing is I never give the 11 swords much credit in a normal playthrough. Because most of the characters who are going to use it, unless they've just spent like 2/3 of the game in Sage and then ate a bunch of Spirit Dust, 11 Sword's just not gonna do damage. Especially when you're doing a Cav rushdown. Let's say like a Super Luke and a Super Chris. But there were definitely points at which Pella and Marth were able to do like snipe 11 Sword kills. Just because we couldn't quite kill something. Which let them feed. And that ended up being like half the levels Marth gained in the last leg of the game, too. Because it was too dangerous for him to do too much direct fighting most of the time. And it was only after he got those kills and a Speedwing towards the end where the Fire Dragons weren't just doubling him when he tried to go in for Wormslayer. Yeah, so we got 10 wins. I guess she didn't do that much NOS tanking in the sequence that won. Because we did have a run at chapter 22 where she was doing a lot of NOS tanking. And she definitely scored like at least 5 or 6 more kills there. But it didn't turn out, so we, that got erased from S record, unfortunately. Ah yes, Tomas, otherwise known as Free Silverbow. Frost, also known as free equipment. I guess the Wolf Guard is also free equipment, but technically much higher value because they guaranteed the longbow. Whereas if we really need silvers, we can just buy them. Yep, Awakening is the last only feat run. Yeah, because we finished early enough, we'll be swapping over. We'll be doing a unit evaluation first, and then we'll swap to Awakening after that. Makala shows just how worthless historians of this era are. True. Oh yeah, I forgot that we actually get to keep the hat, too. There we go. Chris forever wandered around in a tiger mask. Or a tiger hat. Beat 107 battles. Truly the FP12 of FP12, indeed. We got a survival. I'm assuming that only takes into account our units who joined the team and didn't die. Because we definitely murdered a lot of named characters. Well, I guess not a lot, but Julian died, Mattis died, Ricard died, Lena died. I guess that's the only 4, but like that's still quite a few characters dead. I would have assumed if survival included it that it would have docked me points. Speed. Wow, this is discrimination against foot units. Jeez, game. Alright, so we're gonna go back to this screen. So I guess from the top, Marth was Marth. He was decent while his bases lasted, a huge liability after that, and then eventually we got him functional again. By which I mean, in the literally in the last 3 chapters. But we got him into a position where he was not getting completely owned by Medeus. So he did his role of eating a bunch of stuff and then solving the final boss for us. Marth was Roy. I mean, in only feat Binding Blade, Roy was probably significantly more useful than Marth was in this game. For the early and mid. So yeah, I would definitely rate Roy, especially in this challenge, above Marth. I guess the one thing Marth had going for him is his bases were more solid than Roy's were at the start of Binding Blade, but like, then Roy gained experience more quickly and gained stats. And Marth really wasn't in this game. DSFEs are just a lot less friendly to sorties. I mean, we had Mercenary, Chris. But the problem, like, to reiterate, the biggest problem with Marth is that only he can do all the admin work, so like, in so many maps he disappears for half the turns, because he's off in some corner doing whatever. So he doesn't get experience or anything. It just snowballs into Marth not having stats. And what's worse is that, because he's a special class, the experience scaling for killing enemies is terrible. We were actively feeding him kills in places that it's just like, yep, Marth sure killed a guy who gives Ryan like 30 experience, but Marth gained 15. So yeah, unfortunately Marth is just like a really terribly designed lord. And part of it is that they kept the Kagaism where Marth had to do all of the admin work and never bothered to rebalance it. Seems basically like he's pre-level. I mean, he only starts at level 6, and his bases are pretty good, but yeah. I think he's basically treated as like having 10 extra levels since he caps at level 30. Because, yeah, we were taking pains to feed him early on, and it just never worked out, so I swapped back to my default of have Marth commit war crimes against every single bishop healer we find. Which still was not enough, because he was not getting enough stats, and he was getting doubled by everything. And even after his speedwing, it wasn't until he was fed Fire Dragon kills for a bunch of fast level ups at the very end that he got into a place where Medeus wouldn't just body him. It's interesting how the DS games didn't include a Lord promotion, not even a generic Great Lord with a similar appearance like some games have. Yeah, I mean, it was... I imagine they were staying true to FE1 and FE3, I assume. Where Marth is just a Lord and doesn't have a promotion. Yeah, FE1 often didn't have promotions at all. So, like, I guess it is a little weird, because they added the promotions for Fighter and Pirate, and then didn't bother to give a promotion to Marth. And I mean, I guess they technically tried since they let him go to level 30 as a special class, but it just wasn't, it's not enough. The man, like, needs Paragon, basically. Connected Hunter to Horseman, and you think some others. Yeah, because I think FE1 only has Sword Masters, Heroes, and Snipers as promoted classes? Oh wait, and Dracos. Dracos and Paladins, so those 5. I think everything else gets snubbed? Or wait. I guess Sages too. Mages of Sages. And Clerics of Bishops, but... like, Fighters and Pirates... in FE1, they just don't get to gain the easy stats that everyone else does, I guess. And I suppose same with Hunters then, if they don't link it to Horsemen there. Yeah, Chris was Chris. We did need to do that early prologue rigging, because his bases are not really enough, even with an optimized night build. It's not enough, so we definitely had to rig a lot of close to perfect levels. And the only reason it didn't take longer than Path of Radiance is because the original maps are a bit shorter, or the prologue maps are a bit shorter, so... in raw time, it didn't take longer, but if we count number of resets, there were probably 4 or 5 times as many prologue resets as there were chapter 1 and 2 resets for Path of Radiance. Bishops don't level in FE1, healing doesn't give experience. True, but if they get attacked, they gain 1 experience. So if you're really determined, you can grind them up. Would not recommend, though. Oh, it's equal to HP lost, is it? Okay, I guess that's... it's slightly better. But it's still really terrible. Alright, Militia, she scared me for a bit, because her early levels were really terrible. But in the end, we only really had to give her... well, no, we gave her 2 robes, I think. Was it 2? Yeah, I think it was 2 robes and all the talisman, or like 4 talisman. So she still required some fixing. But like otherwise she more or less behaved like we would normally expect Militia to. Especially with Nos in play. So yeah, basically a keystone unit. Both for staff utility and the fact that she can kind of just stand in the middle of stuff and Nos tank through them. It's been a while since you've seen FE1 streamed. You have little patience for it. Yeah, I really dislike FE1's UI. Which is why it's a sub-incentive for me to suffer through playing it again. Because it makes a good meme. Katria... It's actually funny, because in a normal playthrough, Paula is usually dominant, and Katria kind of takes some time to catch up. But because Paula couldn't be a Pegasus or Draco, or Paladin, she had to suffer through being a Myrmidon, which decreased her power a lot. And as a result, we had to fast track Katria, and when we did that, she started rolling, like, pretty hard. And once she got into Sniper, Katria was basically dominating stuff like you would expect a Fate Sniper to. FE1 literally invented the SRPG genre. I don't know if it invented it, but it definitely sort of popularized it more. So yeah, I think Katria is probably among our top 5 units for the run. Being a dancer good, basically. Not really much else to say about it. I guess actually her being quite fast and reasonably bulky made it so there were a few times where she could just sit in range of one enemy and not be afraid. And that came into play a few times. Especially against the meteor right before the Starlight village in chapter 21. She did require a barrier staff from that, but like, I don't know. When your dancer can survive getting hit by an overstated siege tome, I think that's pretty good. Even if she requires a little bit of help. S was definitely a strange one. She was basically a muscle cleric who did almost nothing but heal and incubate. And then required 5 spirit dusts to have functional Nosferatu.
How long have you been standing there?
Hey Shinjo, thanks for the raid. What were you up to tonight? You're catching us in the unit evaluations after finishing here. Casual Persona 4ing. I definitely know the least amount about that one out of like the 3 big modern Personas. The run has been good. We finished. We killed Medeus, so I'm doing unit evaluation. So yeah, S was probably... I guess she had bulk. Because she gained speed quickly, and she ended up being a sage with just like 50 physical and magical bulk. Which meant, unlike Marth, she could actually take a hit and not fear being doubled by literally everything. So she kind of had a similar training arc to Marth, but with staff access and the actual ability to take a hit. And then having a second Nos tanker was legitimately really helpful for the Dragon Tower. Especially considering how he could split pull the Fire and Mage Dragon damage in Chapter 23. That was kind of huge. So having Militia and S able to help with that was a pretty big deal. It's hilarious seeing strength cap on a mage, yeah. I mean, S just tends more towards that. She was at 20 strength when she had, what, 8 magic? She capped really early with it. I almost considered whether I needed to make her a second sniper, but... I was determined to try to go for the Thoron Nos setup. But unfortunately, Thoron was just too impractical because of the cost. If her magic had turned out a little bit better and I wouldn't have needed to buy 2 more Spirit Discs, I guess it would have been okay, but... Like, the difference between the Max Forged attack Thoron and a Max Forged attack Lady Sword is 20,000 gold. So that already makes it feel, like, so much worse. Weight doesn't exist in New Mystery. Your attack speed is just your attack speed. It's basically the prelude to Awakenings, where they also don't care about attack speed. Or weapon weight. Yeah, just the Shadow Dragon thing.
I'm being helpful.
Merrick had problems. He was basically just a stat bot. Because he was too slow a lot of the time, and his magic was low enough that Excalibur often missed the one-shot on enemy flyers. Which is not a huge deal against Dragos, but it's a very, very big deal against Wyverns. So yeah, for the most part, Merrick was a staff bot, and didn't end up as bulky as Est was. And because it took him a while to promote to be a staff bot, he was... like, really bad chip for a while. Merrick was very sad. I mean, usually he's not the greatest unit, but he was particularly meh on this run. Zane was Zane. The versatility of copying someone was pretty big. Most of the time it was Chris, but... we had a few times where he also copied Ryan, and copying Katria with her massive 29 sniper speed was also pretty huge. So yeah. And I guess I kind of glossed over Pella because of the Katria evaluation, but like... Myrmidon is terrible. Swapping Pella to Myrmidon was just a really bad time. She barely had enough bulk to survive a hit, and she was slow enough that she never doubled anything for the most part. At least once they became reasonably strong. I guess for the first few maps after putting her in Myrmidon, the 20 speed was okay. But also she had terrible strength. So there was just not much that Pala could do. I guess in the mid-game, she eventually reached a point where she was basically a mage killer. She would barely survive getting hit by a Bolganon and then double the mage to death, but other than that... she was a really pathetic swordmaster until we fed her a bunch of stat boosters towards the end. And then I guess you could say she was technically still a mage killer after that. Because a lot of the kills she got was using the Worm Slayer on mage dragons. Once she got to that end part. Actually, I guess she could also double the sorcerers. So yeah, she was killing mage dragons and sorcerers. So once that evened out a bit, I guess she was alright, but... it's a pretty stark difference if you compare her to a standard playthrough where she's running as Draco or Paladin, and is kind of a dominant unit. Here, she was just extremely mediocre as a Swordmaster. Like I said, she basically flipped roles with Katria, where Katria was the carry and Pala was kind of struggling to pull herself together and be useful after the Dragon Gauntlet. Etzel was good, basically better Merrick. At least for the mid-game, because he could actually one-shot flyers. He had just enough luck against the early Wyverns to not give them crit. Although that changed a lot afterwards, because his luck growth is apparently non-existent. But, I mean, just generally speaking, Etzel is a way better staff user than Merrick. And, I mean, I guess Mage in general, because he has better magical offenses. Minerva was useful for a little bit. I guess mostly as a staff bot, but there was that Kadane map where having her in general was actually quite helpful against the Killing Edge mercs. Because it basically freed Chris and Ryan up to go do stuff. So yeah, Minerva, decent filler for a few chapters after she joins. Really meh staff bot after that. I guess a staff bot with like marginal bulk, so she doesn't. If she needs to body block at some point, that's okay. Cyrus was quite useful. His luck issues are pretty notable, but like Swordmaster Cyrus was a good stopgap in terms of having a fast body. While Pala tried to actually get herself into a position where she stopped sucking. And during the latter leg of Ryan's training arc, where he still wasn't quite fast or bulky enough. Actually, give me a second. We have ads hitting. I'm gonna let those run, because we still have a few more units here. I don't want to rush things, so I'm gonna go refill my water, let the ads run, and then we'll finish the unit evaluation and swap to Awakening, so be right back. Hey. And we're back. So, Ryan. He had some early struggles. His initial levels definitely weren't the greatest. But he was available during the prologue when basically none of the other 7th platooners were. Because with Luke and Roderick banned, Ryan was the only one able to gain, or was the only non-Christian able to gain significant experience for the first, like, third of the prologues. So, this definitely gave him a leg up. Not quite in the same way as, say, a trained Luke, but once he got over that speed hump, which unfortunately did take a while because he kept refusing to gain it, he started doing pretty well. And I guess even before then, he had enough bulk to take a hit or two. Because he did gain a lot of hit points in defense. So, unfortunately, he ended up in an awkward spot where he needed to incubate for a while, but Cyrus had him more or less covered during that time. So once we were able to get over that hump, get him some more stats, get him promoted, Ryan started just being like basically a somewhat weaker Chris with less movement after the boots. So yeah, like, he's still reasonably solid if you put the effort into him. It's just in a normal playthrough, there's not much reason to use him over Luke. But he still has that 7th platooner advantage. Zero resin magic is super funny. Well, yeah, because I don't think he can grow it at all. Unless he's in a magic class. Because most characters don't even have a personal res growth. We had to take a specific background for Chris to even have it. Otherwise, Chris would be at 0 res. And even with the background that gives us 15% res growth. Well, this is in Sorcerer. I think in Zerker we only had 5? Yeah, in Zerker we only have 5. So even with that specific setup, he still didn't have the best res, but it was enough to disrupt enemy, like, 2-rounding with tomes and stuff. And sometimes with Pure Water it even disrupted 3-rounding, so I guess that was cool. Katarina was filler. I mean, she did her job as a staff bot. She technically had tome rank, but I never really attacked with her because she joined so late. And we had Etzel and Militia, and even Merrick had generally better combat parameters than Katarina at that point. And S was simply bulkier despite having about 5 less magic. So, you know, not really any room to put Katarina in as an actual magic combat unit. Nagi did some stuff in the failed attempts. It's really annoying that the stat variance on those dragons means that sometimes she just doesn't one-shot them. And also, her giving them a bunch of lists of crit against her is terrible. But when you're desperate, she's alright, I guess. as a anti-dragon solution. Joined super late though, so you know. Really only useful for up to 2 maps, and we benched her after the one where she's free. Mikalos. That luck is terrible. So I never wanted him to be counterattacked, but... So, we have him as a sniper, and his damage is just kind of terrible. So I don't think he's really... Like, he's got okay bases, but... I think for him to actually really do anything, we would have had to have made a forge that I wasn't really willing to do. Let's see, we didn't use them. George was actually really useful. We deployed him probably about a third of the time because of flyers. And as I mentioned before, this A-rank bows and being able to one-shot stuff with a Parthia is pretty big because no one else really does that. There was a point after enemy bulk got too high for the 5 points forged to do that anymore. And just having A-rank bows is great. Because our trained snipers, Katria, and I guess temporarily Ryan at times, he went back to sniper. They're just fast enough where a lot of the flying targets, like the Draco Knights, they would double them with a steel bow and just kill them. So like, there was no point in using Parthia there. So the fact that George could just pick up Parthia and still get one-shots from basically base, it helped us basically double our flyer killing economy. So yeah, I definitely appreciate George a little more when we're not throwing around a bunch of Paladin and Horseman sweepers. Or Draco sweepers, I guess, because technically speaking, if you got a solid Draco Knight, you're usually bulky enough you're not too concerned about the opposing Dracos or Wyverns until late game. So you can just fight them in air-to-air combat. But in a scenario like this, George was definitely invaluable. Let's see, I guess special mention to Athena. During the prologue, taking her over Gordon was, well, I'd probably be overstating it to say a key choice, but it was definitely a great choice. Because otherwise, we had no bodies to meat shield with until she and Ogma were around. So legitimately, Athena is actually really helpful in the early game. And then disappears for the rest of the game, but you know. That doesn't stop her from contributing in the prologue, so... Definitely appreciated having her, even though it was only brief. And then we didn't use... most of these. Wendell was a staff bot for the most part. I don't know if he even seriously attacked anything. I don't think he did. And Sita and Lin were kind of just around as filler, so not really anything interesting there. Ren, the early sniper and the early sniper switch was generally a pretty big deal with him. Especially since he was the most accurate out of that initial just out of the prologue squad. Even though Forged Iron meant that pretty much anyone could swap into Archer and try to do it. Iran just had the 100% hit rates that most of the other characters didn't. Without Paladin access, I don't think there was ever like a future or a timeline where I would have wanted to run him as a serious melee unit. I guess there was him being a hero for chapter 1. But like, he was kind of pathetic against the enemies there, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I think in this context, he's basically only useful as a sniper. But it was useful enough that in a standard run, I would maybe consider Sniper Ran to be competitive with Paladin or Draco or Ran. Ogma is basically similar evaluation to Athena. I guess he rejoins earlier, but like, I didn't really want to do anything with him considering we already had Ryan and Chris's melee powerhouses. Cecile is just a heal bot. Yeah, I don't think we use anyone else aside from So yeah, that, as far as significant units that we use, that's the evaluation. So top 5 is probably Chris, surprising no one, Zane, Katria, Ryan. And then, I mean, obligatory Dancer in the top 5, I guess. No, I guess it'd have to be Militia, so then... Yeah, Chris, Militia, and Zane, and Katria, and Ryan, and then... I'd probably rate Fino like 6th. And Pella and S a little bit below that. You're hoping to catch some of the suffering, but it's well past crash o'clock, alright? I guess I wasn't expecting the unit evaluation to go quite so long, but... We did use like a bigger spread than when we did the Fates runs, so... That's probably why. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a good sleep. So yeah, I guess that more or less concludes this. It was, as predicted, toughest in the prologue. With a ton of rigging. More than I'd done in anything else, even including Path of Radiance. Even considering the ridiculous Mycen being banned during Shadows of Valentia prologue thing. There was definitely way more spread out across all the maps than was in that single map. And then we definitely struggled with the lower movement until we got the boots, and then it became somewhat of a non-issue. Up until the tower. Aside from chapter 19 and... Actually, you know what? 19, 20, 22, and 23. Even with boots, we had some issues. But up until 19, once we had the boots, it wasn't too much of a problem. And then the last leg was kind of the standard, having to deal with new mystery, hyper high stats, but with worse moves, so we got into bad situations a little more often. But yeah, so we're gonna be moving on to the Awakening only feat run, where we're gonna do it on Lunatic Plus, and it's gonna illustrate just why Fred is an integral part of the early team.